Steph Curry goes down with a pelvic injury. Can the Golden State Warriors survive without him despite winning this game against the Toronto Raptors? Can they survive without him if he misses extended period of time and hold on to that 60? We'll talk about that in today's episode of Locked On Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On NBA Game Night. I am your host, Khahil, host of the Locked On Pistons podcast. This is my co-host, John Karalis, host of the Locked On Celtics podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. We got 5 games tonight. Some tough news with Steph Curry we'll get into. The Knicks and Pacers seem to be it could potentially be in a battle for the third seed, and also favorite segment of all time, obviously, for you guys, the Are You Drinking a Kool-Aid segment. John, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. Better than Steph Curry, I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into that now. So Steph Curry, second half of this game, went down really hard on his tailbone. Official reporting is that he has a pelvic injury. Now, Golden State did end up winning this game. They held on and beat the Toronto Raptors. So, but I don't think that's so much the concern now, obviously. If Steph is to miss any extended period of time with how close the standings are right now, and it really, we're talking about the East too a little bit later, but with how close the standings are right now in the West. I mean, right now the Warriors hold on to the 6th seed, but they're only a game and a half above the next team, and the Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. If Steph misses any time, John, do you think the Warriors can hold on to that spot?
It's going to be so tough. It's going to be really, really tough. I mean, they are not, they're not equipped, I don't think, to kind of survive that. And you know, their saving grace is that they've got some cupcakes coming up here: Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, San Antonio. So there's a little bit of time where maybe you can stay afloat without him. So it's possible, but if he misses a long period of time, you still got to go to Memphis. You go on a road trip. You know, Los Angeles, not really a road trip, but you still have Denver, Houston, Phoenix, who's trying. They're out there. They still have a game. They're trying a game against the Clippers. So there are some tough matchups. It seems to be more like a bone bruise kind of situation. You hope it's not like a fracture or something like that happened to Chet Holmgren when he had a fall. So hopefully it's just a bone bruise, and it's painful. Bone bruises hurt, but pain is manageable. A fracture would be devastating to them. So hopefully that's all it is. I'm giving them a 50-50 shot. Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, San Antonio as their next 4 games is really going to help them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be extremely tough for them to do it, man. You look at the teams behind them, and again, we'll talk about this a little later with the Eastern Conference, but it's the same thing over there as well. Like, all these teams that are in like this bunched up situation with the 6, 7, and 8. Like, we talk about how Golden State, I mean, last time I was on here last week, we talked about Golden State, how well they had been playing. But you look at the Clippers and you look at the Timberwolves, they're also playing extremely well at the exact same time. Like, the Clippers in their last 10 games are 7-3. They're on a 4-game win streak. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I know they just had a tough loss the other day, but they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. And it seems like they're really starting to put things together and play well. Ant and Julius Randle starting to figure things out. It feels like the separation between any of these teams are so small right now that losing Steph for any period or time, I think would kill them. And I think if they do, cause I don't know if they can hold on to it. I think if they miss Steph for any amount of time, I think Minnesota takes that spot. And if they do lose that spot, if they lose 6, I don't know how they make it out of the first round. Like, despite how well they've played and this combination of Jimmy, Draymond, and Steph, if they can't find a way to hold on to that 6th seed, I feel like it's going to be all for nothing.
It'll be very difficult. There's a path. Like, people have been asking, are the Warriors serious contenders now? And there's some debate, and I never really bought them as serious contenders. And this game is part of the reason why. The way the Raptors defended the Warriors and dared Draymond Green to shoot, and like it was, hey, it worked out in this game in the end because they were playing the Toronto Raptors. But Draymond Green took 14 3-pointers. 14 3-pointers. He was 5 of 14. They did not cover him beyond the 3-point line. And that's going to be how it goes in the playoffs. So I don't think you can win 4 out of 7 games against most playoff teams when you're going to be defended like that. Beyond that, you go from discussion of whether you're a contender to now you have to play one of the Clippers or Minnesota if you fall into the play-in spot, which is not going to be easy. If you lose that game, even if you win, your reward is going against the Thunder. So that is, you have a potential for them to not even win a game in the playoffs. So the injury to Steph Curry, even if it costs them a couple of games and it drops them into the play-in, that's the most devastating thing that they could have happen right now. So it really is a worst case scenario if he misses any amount of time. Never mind significant amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, and if they fall, I guess the only other potential way of seeing this through for Golden State, if they were to lose the 6th seed, if Steph misses any time and they end up losing the 6th seed, would be to win that first game of the play-in, get that 7th seed, and hope that either Houston or Memphis end up being that 2 seed. I don't think they're beating the Lakers in the first round if they match up. And then Denver, I mean, you got Jokic over there. I know Denver has its flaws, but they have Jokic. So, I mean, the Golden State really needs to hold on to this 6th seed. They really have to do it, or they're really going to have to start hoping for some particular matchups. I feel like the Houston matchup could look a little like how the Kings-Warriors one did a few years ago, where the younger team had the higher seed. They won more games. They were a really good team, but the other team had Steph Curry, and he's capable of just winning them a series. That could potentially happen, but outside of that, if they don't get the 6th seed, I think it could really be some doom and gloom going on.
Let's also consider the fact that even if he comes back, right, how limited is he going to be? He's already been dealing with a back issue. And now with the pain, the big thing for Steph is moving without the ball, cutting, coming off of screens, running the baseline, all of that stuff. If you're limited at all, you're sapping the effectiveness. A pelvic injury, a back injury, that affects your lift. That affects the strength in your shot. So if that's not there, you do run the risk of Steph being ineffective or less effective. And so even if he plays, you do have to watch closely. Does that limit him? Does that limit his movement? If I would hit him with picks, if I was playing him his first game, I would just be like, go slam. I don't care if you take an offensive foul. You hit him with a pick that he feels and see how he reacts to that. And that's how he's going to be treated from now on. Like, he already is going to get mauled anyway, and he's not a big dude, but I think opposing coaches are going to target him in a big way. And even if he's back on the floor, the potential is there that he's not going to be the Steph Curry that they've had over the past few games.
And this is crazy that it's crazy and it's tough for Golden State, because this is literally just a few days after Steve Kerr saying, we got to get Steph a break. I'm going to take care of Steph. We're relying on him too much. And the hope was you get the 6th seed, you got that week off to really rest up. And now, that seems to be even more up in air than it was just a few hours ago. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this injury to Steph is not too severe at all, and he doesn't have to miss too much time, if at all. And we can at least get this 3-team race where everyone's healthy, and it's not because of a star player going down to an unfortunate injury. But coming up, the Eastern Conference has a crazy battle going on between 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed, 6 seed, but really between the 3 seed and the 4 seed, Knicks and Pacers. Are the Pacers going to catch up to the Knicks? We'll talk about that coming up. And today's episode is brought to you by Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time with Upwork. You can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to take your business to the next level. Upwork gives business flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers incredible results. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale any business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com, to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Again, at Upwork.com. Then I got to tell you guys about another one of our sponsors, FanDuel. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. I've got my eye on a few underdogs this year, and FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when I win, I get paid instantly. There's no waiting around. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Again, visit FanDuel.com to get in on the college hoops action with FanDuel.com. I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Game Night part of your everyday listen. I'm your host, Khahil, host of the Locked On Pistons podcast. That's John Karalis, host of the Locked On Celtics podcast, where we are now going to shift over to the Eastern Conference and talk about the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Tonight, the Pacers win. First of all, let me just say this real quickly. The Pacers find the most crazy ways to win games. I don't know how they do it. They just keep finding ways to win games. Just like how? How did they pull this off?
Yeah.
But they win this game tonight. But on the other side of it, the Pacers beat the Nets. But on the other side, the Knicks lose to the Charlotte Hornets. Before we get into it, we're going to talk with Locked On Pacers host Tony East about what happened tonight.
Locked On Pacers, where the escape artist Pacers win again. They beat the Nets in overtime. Currently standing where a little fracas, scuffle, whatever you want to say, happened between Miles Turner, Benedict Mather, and Trendon Watford. Watford ejected in that moment. Nets were winning. Really got the Pacers up and going. They were playing okay in the second half, better than they did in the first half, but still were trailing. That gave them juice. That gave the crowd juice, and it wasn't pretty for the Pacers. It took them from the first quarter till overtime to regain a lead. They just tied it up a few times along the way, but the story of their week, they found a way to get it done. Their third clutch crazy win in a row, some resiliency, and all three wins without Tyrese Halliburton. Very impressive stuff from the Pacers. Benedict Mathurin, sensational again. His second straight wonderful game on this back-to-back. Miles Turner with a clutch block to clean things up late. Pacers get their 40th win of the season over the Nets. We'll have much more on another crazy Pacers game on Locked On Pacers.
So, John, look, the Knicks, it felt like they were going to hold on to this third seed. It felt like they were not going to get up to this 1-2 seed, but they were just locked into this 3 seed. They were that's where they were stuck at. Now, as of March 21st, we're recording this, the Pacers are only 3 games behind them. The Knicks are on a 2-game losing streak. They've lost 6 of 9. Indiana, like Tony just said, are winning games without Halliburton, finding crazy ways to pull off victories. Are we sure that New York is going to hold on to this 3 seed?
No. I was definitely sure. I have been going about my business now. The Celtics are the 2 seed. I feel comfortable about that. That's going to stay. We know Cleveland's 1. We know Boston's going to be 2. And I was like, and the Knicks are going to be 3. And I just treated it as done. But then we talk about injuries, and it's such a game changer. Jalen Brunson, not Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson steps on somebody's foot, sprains an ankle, just got out of the walking boot now. What was it? 15 days, almost, 2 weeks after the injury. And the Knicks lose 6 of 9. Here are the Nets winning 5 of their last 6. And you go, oh, wait a second. There's, about a dozen or so games left in the season, and it's only a 3-game lead, and Brunson's still not coming back until maybe another couple of weeks. So who knows? And now that changes everything now, because the Pacers, if they jump up to the 3-6, Well, they play your Pistons, and that's going to be a hell of a series. And the winner goes to take on, presumably, the Boston Celtics. And let me tell you something. As the Boston Celtics guy, Indiana's the last team I want to see. They are so, like, we just saw it. They're so unpredictable. You don't know what the hell they're doing. The Celtics did sweep them in the playoffs last year, but it was 4 games that could have gone a completely different way if the Pacers were any better, if they had, a little bit of luck. They made some mistakes, but that's a series that, like, they are so unpredictable that it would be difficult for the Celtics. It's the worst possible matchup for Boston. And meanwhile, New York would drop into a series, presumably you'd play the Bucks. That's not going to be easy. It just changes the entire dynamic of everything. And I still expect it to be Cleveland, Boston, but man, Pacers going up against the Celtics would have a ton of confidence against them. And Boston thrives on taking away or attacking something very predictable, and predictable is not what the Pacers are at all. And so this could change a lot of what we thought was happening at the top of the East.
Yeah, and like we mentioned in the first segment, having this stuff kind of decided due to injury is always terrible. You hate to see it happen. We hope Jalen Brunson can get back. Like you mentioned, he just got out of the boot. The expectation, according to Tom Thibodeau, is that he will play before the finale of the season. Now, whether that's actually the finale he plays in or whatever it is, he's been out for a minute now. And New York has been struggling without him. They've been struggling. And Indiana's getting hot. I just wrote about Tyrese Halliburton. He's playing fantastic since January 1st. He's playing super efficiently, not turning the ball over, shooting incredible from the floor. This is what I'll say. If New York ends up falling to 4 and Indiana catches them, which would be crazy, because like you said, it felt like New York was penciled into 3 for the last like for months. Like it felt like that's just is what it is. That's what's going to happen. If they were to lose grip of this at the end of the season, first round series with a potentially hobbled Jalen Brunson against Giannis and Dame. Now look, I know the Bucks are not a great team, but in the first round, you got hobbled Brunson and you're going against arguably like a top 2, top 3 player in the entire NBA. In Giannis, when you could have been going against, like, look, I love my Pistons, okay? Like maybe they have a chance against the Knicks, but you go from having to play first playoff series ever, Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons to you're playing MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo with your star hobbled. Like that not only changes New York's season, it could change Indiana's season, but hell, it could even change Milwaukee's season. Milwaukee could all of a sudden find themselves getting hot and feeling like, oh God, we just took out New York. We could do this. So this could change. If this happens, this could change the entire Eastern Conference, I feel like.
If it's not out of the question that Milwaukee beats New York and matches up pretty well against the Cavs, it's possible that the Bucks, despite everything, make it to the conference finals.
Like, that would be crazy.
It's not out of the question. Look, the Knicks don't beat good teams, and the Knicks have a lot of weaknesses that you can attack. And like, I don't expect the Bucks to do much, but they can attack those weaknesses. And more than that, I don't know that New York can fully exploit what the Bucks' weaknesses are. I mean, they can certainly pull Brook Lopez out of the paint, and that's going to be their big selling point. Is Karl Anthony Towns is just going to have a field day from 3. Brook Lopez, you're either going to have to sit him or he's going to be pulled out of the paint, and then Brunson, who loves to drive, if he's healthy, can get to the rim, and that's New York's path to winning a series there. But it's not going to be easy because you still have to defend Giannis, you still have to defend Dame, and there's places that you can be attacked. That could be like an opening round 7 game, just epic kind of slugfest. going back to the old days of Knicks Pacers just rock fights, which might be fun for an old guy like me. But I mean, that's what we might be facing. It'd be interesting, man. I don't know, man. The Pacers, again, like Tony said, just unpredictable. This run, no one expected it. No one expects anything from the Pacers. They are just the most random set of occurrences. It's like, I don't know, you watch Rick and Morty, the Randotron episode. Really just put a bunch of different things and people are like, I don't know, it's like Elon Musk with tusks, and it's like all these crazy things that are happening. Like, that's the Indiana Pacers. It's just random, and then at the end it works, and you're like, what? How do you game plan for that? Drives me nuts.
So, John, let me ask you this before we wrap this up. Just final question, real quickly. So you are saying, you're not saying that they would beat the Celtics, obviously, but you think Indiana is the scariest possible second round matchup that they could possibly get?
Indiana is the scariest possible playoff matchup the Celtics can get.
Because over Cleveland,
because at least with Cleveland, Cleveland is better, and it'll be tough to beat Cleveland, but Cleveland has a clear set strategy. You know what you're going to do. You know you're going to attack Darius Garland. You know you're going to try to pull Evan Mobley, away from there. You know you're going to try to put Jared Allen switched onto Jason Tatum. No, all of these very predictable things. With the Pacers, they are not as good as the Cavs. No one is. I'm not saying that, but matchup wise, stylistically, even if the Celtics take 7 games to beat the Cavaliers, the 4 times they beat the Cavaliers will be easier wins than whatever 4 times they beat the Indiana Pacers. It's just there's no formula. And when there's no formula for the Celtics, then you start getting into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown maybe over dribbling a little bit and trying to do too much. And you don't have a specific place to attack. So the Celtics are not a big cutting team. They're not going to do a lot of those things that you need to do against a team like the Pacers. So they're either going to have to really change their style, or they're going to have to come up with something new. It's just difficult. They are just difficult for the Celtics, and that's the end of the story with them.
And this all could change over the next few weeks. This is how important this race is right now for everyone in the Eastern Conference. This could be such a turn of events that I don't think anyone saw. Could be really, really interesting. But coming up, Bronny with his career high. John, are you drinking the Kool-aid?
Oh yeah, baby. Pour me a big glass of this. Let's go.
We'll talk about that coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Daylight savings snuck up on us again, and if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5 Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5 Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. I've been staying up late watching this tournament action, watching NBA games, and 5 Hour Energy has definitely helped me out. Whether I'm going to a game, I'm traveling, just doing daily work, 5 Hour Energy is easy to grab and keeps me feeling refreshed. Head to 5hourenergy.com, my goodness, to find 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. Peach mango, I really like that one. It's pretty good. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. Need one right now? Grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. You can stock up today and stay energized again, or you can head over to 5hourenergy.com. You can find, again, 15 flavors, over 15 flavors to choose from. You can build your own 12-pack or 24-pack. Multiple ways to get it. Check it out, 5hourenergy.com. Keep yourself refreshed throughout the day with 5 Hour Energy.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Game Night. I am your host, Khahil, host of the Locked On Pistons podcast, as my co-host John Karalis, host of the Locked On Celtics podcast. And John, we are now finally playing your favorite game of all time, the Are You Drinking the Kool-aid? It's been a week.
I got my feet wet with it last week. Now I'm ready. Now I feel confident. Hit me.
Okay, let's get started. I didn't know if you were going to be able to play it. Jake was usually supposed to be here, but I'm here a week later. I was like, oh, John's going to get to play it 1 week later. He gets a double dose of it. You feel
That's
me?
right. It's just like the Pacers. Unpredictable, last minute things happen, and here we are.
All right,
we are.
The Lakers lose to the Milwaukee Bucks 118-89. Before we get into the game, let's hear from Andy, host of Locked On Lakers.
Andy Kamenetsky, co-host of Locked On Lakers podcast, and the Lakers lose 118-89 to the Bucks in LA. Extremely shorthanded. No LeBron, Luka, Reeves, Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith, Vando. Apologies if I left anybody off the list, forgot them. Only so much that could be expected realistically for the Lakers tonight. But an interesting wrinkle, your co-leaders in the scoring column with 17 points, Dalton Connect and Bronny James, who had a very nice night, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, did have 4 turnovers, but this was the best and most confident that Bronny James has looked since the Lakers drafted him. To put it in perspective, he entered this game with just 33 points to his name. So at least for one night, the work is paying off. For more Lakers coverage, make sure you're watching Locked On Lakers on YouTube and listening wherever you get your pod.
All right, so Bronny with a good game, with a good game. He co-led the Lakers in scoring. So John, are you drinking the Kool-Aid that Bronny? I can't even say it.
Come on, say it. Let's go. What do we got?
Are you drinking the Kool-Aid that Bronny is turning into a role player right before your eyes?
Okay, listen. No, but this is a nice game for him. Okay, he was a minus 36 in this game. Okay, so that at one point it was a minus 42. So that got better. Any level of success for a guy like him, and I say this of any late second round pick, any level of success you have at the NBA level can be meaningful, and that can help fuel you and give you confidence and push you to continue, doing the things that got you to this level. So it's nice. And, for a night, he gets to shut people up, right? Like people, we all want to clown Bronny. This has been unfair. I've never really honestly liked how Bronny has been treated. I've never liked how the whole thing went down. I never liked that he got, that LeBron got him this gig. And it's just, whatever. You want to take this guy in the second round, fine. Not a big deal. The media coverage has been insane and unfair. The reactions to his games are, I think, insane and unfair. He's a late second round pick, struggling to find his way in a very difficult league. He is taking advantage of a very powerful ally in his dad, and that opens him up to a lot of criticism. But no, he's not a role player, and he may never be. But this is, if he's ever going to be, a game like this is a decent step where, you can look at. He made some really nice passes. Like, I thought he saw the floor very well. 5 assists is the more impressive thing than the 17 points. I thought he actually, he had a long full court pass to Marcus Morris that was really, like perfectly done. The way he saw it, the way he made it, like I do think that he did some very nice things. Defensively, he's a mess, but he's going to have to fix that. And if he never fixes that, he's never going to be anything. But there's a lot of words for me to say, like, no, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's a fun game to see from him. All joking aside, it's a fun game to see from him, especially with how the coverage has been, like you said, of everything going on and how Stephen A is kind of taking this chance to, go on this media spree and just like
That's the worst part of it, man.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Anyway, okay.
So I'm happy for him. He played well offensively.
He's on the podium. He's on the podium right now. I don't know what he's saying, but he got a podium game out of this. I mean, come on, that's nice.
A 55th overall pick getting a podium game, you take it. So
sure.
Happy for Bronny. Hopefully, maybe he can continue this and string some good performances together as long as people are missing some games, and who knows. But happy for Bronny. Played well. We'll see what happens moving forward. The Bucks get the win. Big time for them missing Dame in this game. But all right, Chicago versus Sacramento. Last time I was on here, I told you I don't know what the Bulls are doing. I still don't. I still don't know what the Bulls are doing. But we're not gonna go the Bulls route this time because
okay.
I can't keep talking about the Bulls and whatever they're doing. But my question is, are you drinking the Kool-aid? By the way, the Chicago Bulls won 128-116 against the Kings. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid that Sacramento made the right move trading for Zach LaVine? Zach LaVine in this game went 2 of 9. At one point, through a large majority of this game, only had taken 4 shots. Sacramento's barely hovering above 500. Do you think they made the right move trading for Zach LaVine?
No. But I don't believe in Zach LaVine as an impact player. I think he's a great offensive player. That in a lot of ways is an empty stats guy. So I think the Sacramento Kings have made a series of bad decisions, starting with the DeMar DeRozan trade. And there's like I'm just quoting cartoons. This is like The Simpsons, where they're digging for the treasure and they're like in the hole and they're like, wait, how are we going to get out? And Homer says, we'll dig our way out. And they just keep on digging. And then Chief Wiggum says, no, dig up, stupid. Like, that's kind of what the Sacramento Kings are. They made a mistake and they just kept on digging. And this is just more digging. And there's just no way out of it. And, they've already traded away 1 star. Now what are they going to do with their remaining star? Like, they're without Domantas Sabonis for a while. I like him, but is it worth keeping him? I don't know what the Kings are doing. These are the two like East and West Coast, like Spider-Man meme, like looking at each other type of thing. So I don't. The answer, the short answer is no. That was not a good move, and I don't think there's anywhere for them to go besides being mediocre in the future. They get a bunch of guys who are really good at winning a few games here and there.
So, final question: drinking Kool-Aid. Do you think are you drinking the Kool-Aid that either Chicago or Sacramento knows what they're doing?
Oh no, they have no clue. There's just no. It really is like blindfolded dartboard. What are we doing? Are we tanking? We're not tanking. Well, we are. No, we're not. Well, maybe. Like, what are the Bulls doing? They're 6-4 in their last 10. Like, what do you? Toronto's tanking too hard for them. Like, the Bulls have already missed the boat on the hard tank, but there's no way that they should have 30 wins. But I don't know. No, they do not know.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. I'm really interested in watching how this shakes out over in the East, man, with this 3 seed. We're going to stay out on top of that. You guys want to be a part of Locked On Game Night every single day. You got coverage here on Locked On NBA Game Night. I'm your host of Locked On Pistons podcast, Khahil. That's John Karalis, host of Locked On Celtics podcast. You guys want some Boston stuff, head over there. You want some Pistons stuff, head over here. But thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Locked On NBA Game Night. Until next time, we will see you guys later.